big black dude, and he's supposedly a Crip, the CO. So there's certain COs that are known at certain spots for fucking inmates up, smacking the shit out of you, whatever. So he walked up to a Mexican that was standing there minding his business. And we all dick out and everything, just standing up looking straight ahead. So he had his property or whatever, he dumped his shit on the ground, whatever. But he ended up saying some racist ass shit, and I didn't expect it to come from him, being that he was a black CO. You know what I mean? So he's asking him, oh, what's in your property, da-da-da, you got a towel? He said, no, sir. He said, why didn't you bring your towel? He's like, confused. He said, how you gonna get all that wet off your back? And we just sitting there like, damn. Like, they're not sparing nobody. Like, they're getting on, it's not even, when you get the certain spots with the white COs, it's like real Ku Klux Klan, like raccoons hanging off of nooses. That's their keychain.
That's fucking crazy, man. Raccoons hanging off of nooses, keychains and shit like that. So what he's talking about, man, is like, think point of view. You doing whatever you want when you outside, right? You got your place, doing whatever you want to, drinking, taking a shower, wiping your ass, little stuff like that, man. Going to Chick-fil-A or Chipotle to get some food. All of those rights are stripped. Not only that, if someone, let's say someone at Chick-fil-A calls you like, oh, so did you order the spicy chicken? All right, here you go, you nigger. You know what I'm saying? Like that. Like they said some stuff like that. It's like, I'm suing you, and I'm about to get a bag off of this. We're going to go to court. I'm calling your manager. I'm calling the president of Chick-fil-A. I can't believe this happened. Nah, I'm getting some rights for this. When you go to jail, you don't got no rights, man. You don't got nothing. Nothing. A racist remark. And I guess like what 1090 Jake is talking about is like, come on, you already part of a minority group, and you're gonna do the same type of racism and oppression to like another minority. That's what Jake. This is what Jake is thinking. Like, man, you black and you talking to a Hispanic dude like that. Black and Hispanics, at least in jail and stuff like that, have a. I mean, that's what it sounds like. You know, they got a huge rivalry going on. It's usually the blacks versus the Mexicans versus the whites, stuff like that. You guys, it's just racial. Prison ain't this. That's the closest I've read about this, man, and heard about this stuff too. I've been to jail, not state prison, but I've been to jail several times, and he said the closest thing to hell is jail. And I only spent less than a week in jail. Shit was terrible, horrible. I cannot imagine spending years in that shit. You're not a human. All of your rights, they don't give a fuck how you feel. You literally could die in there, and nobody would give a fuck. Like it's terrible. It's crazy, man. And he's talking about that. That's wild. That's real wild.
Shit's different.
Because it occurs to me that like if you had a clean bill of health, if mentally you were all there, that you would not put yourself into this environment and want to work in this shit? Or do you feel like once you're in there, it drives people crazy and makes them kind of start to imitate the prisoners that they're around almost?
It's like Texas Chainsaw
Little
movie.
bit.
So it's like the whole town was in it. They were all the killers. So in certain parts of Florida, they got these little raggedy ass towns. The whole fucking family works in the prison.
Right.
The nurse is the wife. The fucking warden is the uncle. So you hit a CO, you liable to get sent to somewhere where it's nothing but their family, and they're gonna take care of all that. So it's like their communities really function off the prisons. They thrive off the prisons. That's like the main job. If you live in that little country ass area,
right,
the main job for you there, the best career opportunity is working in the prison. And it's just, once they in there, they taste that power. Cause bro, the COs are slapping the fuck out of everybody.
Right.
Adults, youth offenders. It's worse for us. The youth offenders, we get fucked up. Like we get punched on our shit, they knock teeth out. But there's certain spots like Lake Butler was known for having a jar with gold teeth. So if you came through from Miami, from Orlando, cause Lake Butler is known for the KKK. You can look this shit up even now. Like recently, KKK getting locked up, undercover stings inside of the prisons. They were killing people and burying people at the prison and building buildings over their bodies. They put you on a permanent transfer list. So when you call to find out, hey, where's so-and-so at? I'm looking him up. I can't find him. He's not writing me back. Oh, he's in transfer. We can't tell you where he's at.
But he's dead.
been dead as fuck.
And how are
10
they able
years.
to pull that off for 10 years?
Because
for real?
the whole Florida Department of Corrections is corrupt from every single level up, from the COs to the wardens to the inspectors to the fucking.
Wow.
Yeah, they fuck. You're more likely to die from a CO than an inmate.
Wow.
It ain't like out here where everybody's just getting stabbed to death. No, they'll beat the fuck out of you, kill you, and then put it on the inmate.
Because like I've seen cops get violent with people. It's usually in response to the person, you know, wilding out or like flipping out on the cop or even hitting the cop or whatever. But like even just showing up at prison and just seeing a fucking cop just deck a person in the face would blow my fucking mind. Like, oh, we're really in a very different place.
Bro, Adam is acting like he did not just hear what we all just heard. Yo, he talking about legit murder. He said that county jail is known to have a jar of golden teeth. How are they getting the golden teeth? They obviously getting like a wrench or something and pulling them out. A jar of golden teeth. And let's just say this, right? Because usually people might have one or two. Let's just say every person had two. A jar of golden teeth. So that's 2 golden tooths. You know what I'm saying? You know how high that's gotta be? How many people that is? You're only getting 2 teeth per head. He said that they'll put you on a permanent transfer list. And so the deal is when you call in asking about your person, the person that you wanted to look up, you know, you wanted to talk to your family member or whatever. Sorry, they can't talk, they ain't transferred. Every single time that you call in, they're always on transfer. You can't do anything about it because they're in jail. All rights have been stripped. Government don't care. This is something that he knows. And the reason why I believe him about this is because white people tell each other things that you would, like, other people you would never ever understand. The same way black people talk to black people differently, you know what I mean? But in this case, they're talking about literally covering up murders. Literally covering up killings of people, of inmates. Literally. Inspectors seeing the bodies like, oh yeah, okay. You killed another one today, Jim, huh? Man, they getting out of control, aren't they? Yeah, you know, this one looked at me the wrong way, so, you know, I had to stab him, kill him. I blamed it on the inmate, and now he's on a permanent transfer. I told Susie anytime that his mother, his dad calls, he's always on the transfer list, so, you know, we good to go. So I just need you to pass this health inspection. I know you see the body sitting under here, but, you know, yeah, not a problem, Jim. You know, I'll just write it off. No problem, you know. Shit, I'm the only contractor out here anyway, so, you know, I'll go ahead and pass it for you. You still pulling up to the barbecue later, right? Yeah. Okay, cool. Sounds good. Yeah. So, it's fucked up. It's crazy. Another reason why I don't, like, why would you want to risk your life, throwing away your life like that, you guys? It sounds cool. It sounds so cool. It looks so damn cool. When you seen everybody throwing up the gang signs looking like forbidden jutsus, you seen everyone ganged up and stuff like that, rolling around, money, cars, women. It looks enticing. The lifestyle looks better than a regular civilian, right? That stuff looks good on the outside, but you better hope you get killed outside instead of inside, man. We don't see the lives of the people that are in the jail. You know what I'm saying? These people come out, when they talk about this shit, they fucked up. We don't get to see that. We get to see all the glamour and gloriousness of street life and gang stuff of the people out here that ain't get caught. But the people that get caught up in the system, this is what you gotta face. Nobody's coming to rescue you. You literally gonna get killed. He said it himself. You're more likely to get killed by a CO, rather than an inmate. Imagine being in one of them little states. Wow, man.
How long did it take before that happened?
I mean, when I didn't get hit by a CO until I got to my first prison. The reception center, they wasn't on nothing. So one of the COs there was a king. He was fucking with us heavy, so he was giving us like K2, weed, tobacco. We smoking. We really like ran that shit. But first time a CO fucked with me was when I hit Sumter CI. So Sumter, they ran it like a boot camp. So we had a sergeant named Sergeant AB. He got the fucking military hat on and everything. And the COs are giving us warnings. Like when I hit reception, let me rewind a bit. When I hit reception, Before I walked into the dorm, right, CO comes up to me. I'm the only white kid. So he's like, hey, listen. It's a white CO. Like, hey, listen. They're going to try you in there. Do what you got to do. I'm not telling you to do nothing crazy, but do what you got to do. I'm just thinking to myself, why the fuck is he telling me this?
Yo, that's exactly it, man. That's that shit right there, bro. That's crazy. Yo, I got pulled over with my sister one time, right? And I was picking her up from Sonic, where she was working at. I also had one of her coworkers with us too. Cool, he was a cool white dude, right? So we pull over, we smoking and stuff outside. Somebody called the cops, told the cops and said, at least this is what the cops that pulled up said, right? They said that we had a complaint of someone smoking crack outside. Who the fuck is smoking? Who is smoking crack in a car on an apartment like, what? Anyways, handcuff me. They handcuffed me. I think they might have handcuffed my sister too. I know they handcuffed me, put me on the side, and then look at this. Had some detergent. I know. This sounds a little crazy. Had a little powder detergent because I was driving my mama's car at the time, right? Some powder detergent had spilled in the bag. So you just see a big streak of white, just all sprawled across the trunk. And so they sat me there, opened up my trunk, right? And they were like, what is this in the back? I was like, it's detergent. You can see the little thing right there too. I can understand why they were thinking that, right? Anyways, they called the cops. I mean, they brought the dogs and stuff. It took like 2 hours. Long story short, the white dude, he got set off on the side with the police officers, right? He questioned him. He didn't put him in the handcuffs. And so, come out, they let us out, right? He comes back, and then the dude was like, oh my God, bro, like you good? You know what I'm saying? I'm like, yeah, man, we good, man. I can't believe that took so long. So what happened over there with you? What was it over there? He's like, real talk? They told me, if they got drugs, you can tell us, we'll let you go. But just let us know if they got drugs. You talking about us? Me and my sister got the drugs? He's like, yeah. The cops told me that if I were to tell y'all if y'all had drugs, I mean, like, I'll be good to go. You know what I'm saying? But, like, y'all didn't have any drugs. Like, I'm like, what the fuck? Like, literally, the fate of our lives was in that motherfucker's hands. Whether he decided if he wanted to lie or not. This is the stuff that still gotta face nowadays, you guys. Like, this is real crazy. That's what I'm saying. And so it's like, white people, they say this stuff is terrible. It's terrible that this happens, you guys. And I'm gonna get into it too because I'm doing my real estate right now. I'm about to get my license with it. It's crazy what you can actually get away with. You know what I'm saying? It's like, so this CEO is telling 1090 Jake this because he's like, look, man, it's gonna be tough out there. It's gonna be tough. But I'm telling you, man, I'm looking out for you because you're a white brother, just like me. You know, I'm looking out for you. You going in there with a whole bunch of black people and Hispanic people. I want you to survive. I want you to do good because you like me. Listen, do what you got to do. I know your face. You're one of the only white people in the jail, so got you if you need anything. That's the same one that gave him K2. The same one that gave him the weed to smoke. Crazy.
Is it that bad? You warning me right now? I don't know if he's just on some white guy shit, but I looked in the window and ain't nothing but black faces looking back at me. Ain't no other white people in there. So I'm like, oh, fuck. So I get in there. Hey, come to the table. First quarter, like, everybody rushed the table, though. Who you is, where you from, what you is. And then I knew somebody that was in there, and we kind of cleared the whole situation. The first prison, though, they open up the bus. Sergeant AB comes up. He peeks his head in. Hey, y'all can hear me? Yes, sir. He's whispering. We like, what the fuck? He said, I'm going to give y'all the 5 to get the fuck off this bus. You understand? Yes, sir. 5, 4, 3, 2. We got to jump off. So it's straight like military action. They slamming us against the fences, picking us up, slamming us on the floor. They take us into this room. They tell us to run into this dark-ass room.
Right.
Can't see nothing in there. I'm the first one lined up. They tell me, go. I said, fuck no. Told the kid next to me. I was taking his food at reception. I tell him to go in there. So he runs off in there, right? He runs off, the CO stops. Nah, I told you to do it. So I run off in there. The second I run up in there, I get picked up, slammed on my shit. Boots is kicking me in the face immediately.
And this is a whole system that they've designed to basically demoralize you and make it so that you're less likely to act out.
They want you to understand who runs that shit.
Right.
So they beat the fuck out of every single one of us, one by one, got us all in the same room, and then made us line up dick to butt.
Wow.
So they tell you dick the butt. Like, you got to put your dick up on his butt, and y'all like this in line, and they come through, they'll walk up, chin checking shit, like fucking us up. There was a female, she had a broomstick. She's poking inmates in the ass with it, saying we gonna get fucked when we hit the compound. So that's something that was happening a lot, was kids was getting TOHs, and they getting fucked with broomsticks and shit, that's blowing their guts out.
Jesus.
So they trying to extort you type shit. So the extortion at Sumter, really throughout the YOs, it's at an all-time high. So a TOH is to test the high.
Right.
That's how they're gonna test you. So, like, if you a Chico, if you any type of Hispanic, they're gonna do it to you. If you're black, whatever gang you're in, they're gonna do it to you. If you're white, anybody's gonna do it to you.
So the rough definition of that is basically, it's like, because you gave one example in an older interview I saw where you were saying that you pulled up, you're a blood, and then you had like a bunch of dudes run up on you. Basically, they were bloods, but they were saying they were Crips trying to press you. Or I don't know if this actually happened to you, or you were just giving an example.
No, I think I was giving an example. We used to do that shit to people. So, you know, if there was a Crip or a blood or whatever, we would act like we the opposite shit to see what they're talking about.
Right.
We saying the most disrespectful things we can come up with.
Right.
You know what I mean? Because we used to smash shit. So it's like we would get someone that was really in the gang and flip them and have them write out all their little lingo, knowledge, whatever. So when one of them come, we can check them. So we checking you on your Crip shit to find out if you know what the fuck you is. And if you don't know, it's easy to finesse you.
Right.
And then, you know, if we can finesse it without violence, we're getting that food off of you. But if we got to apply pressure, we apply pressure. So, yeah, we don't want you to feel comfortable. It's not like, you know, now that I've gotten into YouTube and I hear how other politics are, it's not like out west where your homies are going to embrace you, get you right on the food, check your paperwork. Nah, we're not on none of that. We're going to find out how the fuck you're going to stand if you're in a dorm by yourself.
Right.
Because if you get put into a dorm by yourself and they're like, oh, ain't no bloods in here, and you're like, okay, you folded. You just folded. You know what I mean?
Right.
So we're going to do that first. And then if you fuck up, we're going to get you.
Wow. That's crazy. So if you show up in prison and you already have like a street rep, could you be embraced automatically?
Yeah,
Is
fuck
it
yeah.
basically if you are random,
if you
we got to
run
figure out what's going on?
If you run into the right people, or if you got somebody you know that's in the dorm with you, you're good. But it could really be dorm to dorm because you might get put in the wrong dorm.
But so this first one you got put in is all black dudes, so it's like, it's not like
No,
this.
there was white kids in there, but
Oh,
they were
there was.
sitting on the floor. You couldn't see them.
Really?
Yeah, they couldn't sit on the benches.
So that's just straight bitch
So when the
status right
CEO
there.
saw me sitting on the bench, that's when they knew, like, oh, this is somebody. Who the fuck is this? They called me in the booth. They trying to G-chat me. One of the COs was talking about he a blood.
Really?
The COs, bro, like the COs gangbang type shit. So it's like, if you meet one that's that, you might start getting hooked up. And we did start getting hooked up.
Wow.
But we were really getting hooked up off the King CO.
Okay.
He started
Why,
bringing that
why was he
shit.
fucking with you guys so much?
Well, the house man that ran the little unit that I was in was a Latin King. So just off the strength, they both kings, he started supplying shit. And at the same time, we kept shit in order because we was the most violent one. We were 18 and under.
Right.
So you had 18 and under. This is at the Central Florida Reception Center. It's H-Dorm. Hell Dorm, Hotel Dorm, whatever you want to call it. There's 3 different wings to it. So one is 18 and under, the other one's 19 to 20, and then 21 to 24. 21 to 24 look like old men. They sit in there drinking coffee, they're not on nothing. They're
'Cause they
minding
already
their
been
business.
through it.
And there's already like 4 or 5 of them in there. Like there's no one in there. 19 to 20, that's a little decent. A couple of them got scars on their faces because they already went to a prison. They switching prisons. 18 and under, we're the most vicious because we're trying to make a name.
Right.
So the King CO, the King CO used to basically let us run the house. So it's like, if somebody wants to fight, he would open the mop closet, we get in there, we handle that. He just didn't want us cutting anybody. As long as no one's getting cut, nobody's getting poked up, we can handle it how we handle it. And I became a house man. So when new cocks used to come in, we get to pop their cell like we're cleaning it, and we're running down on them, beating them with broomsticks, and getting whatever the fuck we can get, because we're all starving at this point. Like, I don't want to sound like I'm a fucking, you know, but we're hungry.
Right.
None of us have food. Nobody ever sent me food when I was in prison. I got food like 2 times.
So if you don't have money coming in from a family member or whatever,
Starving,
it's
bro.
just not enough food, so everybody's kind of in this constant state of scarcity.
You can't even eat everything that's on the tray. It's not all edible. And then at the same time, like, the milk be spoiled as fuck.
Really?
So it's really on some shit. Like, if you're not finna fight about that food, just give it up.
Now that you've talked to like 1 million different people who are in different prisons all over America, does it stand out to you that Florida might actually be the worst?
I don't think Florida's the worst. I would say probably out here.
Really?
Yeah, because I don't want to wake up and work out every fucking day. You know what I mean? You could be lazy in Florida, but the thing about it is the politics out here is respectable.
Right.
It cleans a lot of shit up and it keeps shit organized.
Right.
You know, so California got the SNY shit, the PC shit, and that's where all the madness is at as far as like the sex offenders, the weirdos, the snitches. Florida, we're all in one spot. There's no separation.
There's no PC in Florida.
Bro, PC is a confinement status.
Right.
You just go to the box. Like if you checked in on me, bro, and you went PC, I could go PC or he could go PC. And then he gonna get put in the cell with you. And then what's gonna happen is I'm gonna take an envelope, I'm gonna write it out in his name, but I'm not gonna put, like it's gonna miss the zip code or something. So what happens is the letter goes to the mailroom and then they send it back to him who's in the cell with you. You don't even know that he knows me though. But what I already did is I took a razor blade, broke it in half, put it behind the stamp. So when the letter comes back to him, now we got a razor, now he's cutting you up in the cell. You can't get out. So you can go PC, but we're going to get at you. There's no separate compound for you.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah, you're just going to get sent to another prison.
So were you having fun doing all this when you first got in there? Because this is kind of like, you know,
Yes,
you're someone who's
100%.
attracted to madness. Once you get into this environment, I mean, this is like
I was
the most
thinking to
madness you
myself,
can
like,
imagine.
bro, this is it. Like, it isn't, the only step under prison is death.
Right.
It doesn't get worse than that. You prison and you die. You know what I mean? So when I was in there, you can't do nothing but love it, bro. You can't just sit there and be fucking depressed. Like, this is the next 3 years of my life. I'm 18 years old. We got to turn up. And I mean, there's a lot of good times. Not everything is violent. You know,
Right.
you meet a lot of solid people, but the most solid people I met were at the most violent places because that's what people's true colors show. When you meet somebody that you know was willing to shed blood about you, whether it's their own or fucking someone else up,
Right.
it's a different kind of vibe. But, you know, we got one soup, we're splitting it 2 ways. Like, there's a lot of good times, but it's a lot of fucked up shit. And the thing about it, mentally, is in there, you're just consumed by madness. You don't know or you don't understand how it's gonna hit you until you get out. I didn't. I was fine in there. You know what I mean? Like, my first year, I got cut, I got poked up, I got hit with a brick. My first prison, I cut a kid in the cell with me. So I dove into it head first. I was getting hit up, I was hitting shit up. When I got out and was in a peaceful environment, I'll be sitting with my daughter, that's when shit starts coming back to me and starts
Right.
fucking me up. But I never had an issue when I was in there.
Does it fuck you up just thinking about like this lifestyle you have now where it's like you're so able to remove yourself from any kind of risk? And like, it's got to be strange to think like I'm the same person, but I was in that environment doing this shit. And now I'm chilling in my house making videos all day or whatever.
I mean, it's crazy when I think about it, but I don't feel like I ever left it because I still like struggle with a lot of that shit mentally. I just don't really talk about it. So a big part of me changing my content from me going to the prison shit, not only was the prison community getting played out with just everybody's doing it, you can only hear the same shit so many times. Like, I feel like I got in at the right time and got the fuck out. But another major aspect of that was all the dreams started coming back to me.
Really?
So it's like,
From just dwelling on it and talking about that shit so much?
yeah, so, you know.
Oh shit! Hold up, no man, I can't do no more. This thing is he's starting to depress me a little bit. Damn, this dude he has PTSD. This dude is having violent tendencies and violent flashbacks out in the civilian world because of what the fuck programming he had to do for 3 years inside of prison, man. Cutting motherfuckers and shit, bro. I'm not gonna react to the whole video because that's just crazy, but what y'all think about that, man? That dude 1090 Jake is a lot more I'm about to check out some of his videos.